Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has announced the government's vision and its readiness to establish an international arbitration center at Vishakhapatnam with the goal of creating a world-class ADR dispute resolution system and so on the lines of the Singapore model. And he said that India has the potential with the size of the economy to even surpass that model because we are such a large economy. And he made this statement at a mediation conference organized by the Asian Center for International Arbitration and Mediation. Now, we all know whenever Mr. Chandrababu Naidu makes a statement, it is followed by action that we have witnessed in his state and how he made the state as a hub for IT and software in the past terms. So when he says something, I think it will be followed through with action and we'll see some great things happening in Andhra. But I'm not the expert on this topic. Let me welcome Justice Dilip Bhosle. As we all know, Sir has served as the acting Chief Justice at the Andhra Pradesh High Court. He has also served as the Chief Justice of the Allahabad High Court and now is a leading arbitrator based out of the city of Mumbai. Good to see you, sir, and thank you for your time. We have with us Senior Advocate Sanjay Jay, a leading advocate at the Supreme Court of India and also practices at the Delhi High Court. He is someone who has seen dispute resolution from both sides, from the side of the government because being ASG for 9 long years and now being a leading defense counsel at the Supreme Court. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for your time. And we have with us Varun Kumar. Varun is a spokesperson of the Telugu Desam Party and he comes from Vizag itself, which is Vishakhapatnam. He understands the city and also the state having various assignments to his credit. Good to see you, Varun. And
thank you.
Hope you enrich this conversation with your inputs. At the outset, let me request Justice Dilip Bhosle to make the opening comment, and then we'll start. So you have served in that state?
Yes. I was actually, I went there as a puisne judge, a senior most judge in Andhra Pradesh, and then I took over as acting Chief Justice, and I was acting Chief Justice for 15 months when the High Court was common for the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. See, today we are discussing the vision of the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. He desires to transform Vishakhapatnam into arbitration hub by establishing International Arbitration Center. In my opinion, his vision and ambition is admirable, undoubtedly. But you know that merely having vision or desire or maybe ambition is not sufficient. It needs a lot of support from all concerned. All concerned, when I say it requires the support of business community, legal practitioners, judiciary, and also local community, apart from the government. The will and desire of the government is, according to me, paramount. Without support of the government, such centers cannot be established. And when we talk of Vishakhapatnam, whether it can come up like one of the best arbitration centers in the world as compared to Singapore International Arbitration Center or London Arbitration Center, of course, gradually it may, but it is not easy task. It is not easy task because those are already well-established arbitration centers and recognized and accepted by all concerned. Whereas to establish for the first time such center in India, and that too at a place like Vishakhapatnam, though it has a great connectivity, I think that it is possible, but it will take a long time. And let us not look at this center, if at all it is established, or as and when it is established, as a rival to Singapore or London. Let us all concerned in India should focus on to see that this center is also established and flourish like international centers at Singapore or even London or at any other place in the world.
One quick follow-up question and then I'll go to Advocate Sanjay Jain.
Yes.
The Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu said that the Andhra Pradesh state government will partner with the judiciary to set up a global standard international arbitration center. And he also said that he's sort of wanting ease of justice through arbitration and mediation to get swift and quick justice. So in India, we have, eminent jurists, many like you who have sort of, now doing arbitration. So do you think this partnership with the judiciary for setting up an arbitration will work very well for the state?
Undoubtedly. See, without participation or support of the judiciary to make such international arbitration center successful is impossible, according to me. I would not like to comment directly, but when we look at the arbitration center established at Hyderabad, that is also equally good. But it has some drawbacks, and one of the drawbacks is now, say when it was established, I'm told that a lot of cases were referred and huge amounts were involved in those matters. Huge amounts, if I'm not wrong, I think it is almost 785 million US dollars were involved in those matters. So it was a huge. But now I'm told that it is on decline. There are a lot of reasons why it is on decline. Maybe administrative irregularities or inadequate infrastructure and facilities, lack of robust arbitration culture and awareness in the state, and lack of support of the judiciary. Judiciary support, unfortunately, is not happening in Hyderabad. There are no references by the High Court, I'm told, in recent past to these arbitration centers. So that is one of the, without support of the judiciary, it is impossible to make any such institution successful.
So basically what you're saying is what Mr. Chandrababu Naidu said is indeed correct, that he will
Absolutely correct. And judiciary also should respond it positively.
I'll go to senior advocate Sanjay Jain to speak on this very same question. Over to you, Mr. Jain, for your opening comment.
See, I will take the clue from Justice Bhosle's fundamental observation that it is one thing to have a vision and ambition to create an infrastructure or an arbitration hub which matches the best of international standards. One has no doubt that the chief minister of this state, who is well known for his ability to convert dreams into reality, is fully equipped to do it so far as his efforts are concerned. But as it so transpires that when it comes to the arbitration hub being created, it requires the two very essential aspects which Justice Bhosle in his opening comments mentioned. First is the supportive legal framework. Now, how do we create this supportive legal framework? Because Arbitration Act is a central act. It has to be implemented by the courts in Andhra Pradesh. Subject, of course, to the business or the industry going for arbitration clause, which creates opportunities for these matters to be regulated and monitored by Andhra Pradesh courts. So for that, the initiative can be taken by him, and he can create this kind of a confidence level that, of course, with the support of the head of the judiciary in the state, that on a long-term basis, here is a blueprint, here is a plan, which will ensure that with X number of fast-track courts dealing or dedicated essentially to the arbitration matters, we are in a better position to tackle the aspects pertaining to the appointment, to the interim orders, pre-arbitration, and enforcement of awards at a later stage. And when we speak about arbitration hub, we are, of course, looking for an international global footprint, but we cannot, of course, overlook the domestic aspect of it, the domestic arbitration and other things. The second thing, which is equally important, is the availability and the willingness of expert arbitrators. The eminent arbitrators like Justice Bhosle and a score of eminent arbitrators which this country has, because our legal brain pool is second to none in the world. So the willingness of the expert arbitrators to be associated with the arbitration hub proposed to be created in Vizag, Vishakhapatnam, is equally important for which I, in my view, is a relatively easier task for the Honorable the Chief Minister and his some of his ministers who recently have been in news for being proactive in attracting in investment for the state and all. And the other aspect, of course, needless to say, is the state-of-art facilities and the infrastructure. Because unless you have a live recording and the other mechanism, including the integration of AI, etc., for the facilitation, not for substitution of human brain. So all those aspects combined together, I would say that I am reasonably optimistic that it is possible, but then I will of course have a few question marks, which Justice Bhosle has pointed out, that it needs a collective effort on a sustained basis. What happens is one should not. We have an example of Hyderabad, which His Lordship just mentioned. We start with a huge amount of fanfare, but somewhere in the middle we lose the stream, which should not happen. And so therefore, the institution should be created with a long-term perspective, involving people and assuring them and in taking assurance from the people that whosoever is the government in the future or the establishment in the future, they will at least not compromise on the growth and the speed which a particular institution, especially as important as an arbitration hub, once created, should not be the speed and growth of that institution should not be impeded.
Point very well taken. The key word I take away from your answer is sustained effort. It should not be one thing. I am assured that because of Chandrababu Naidu, at least the infrastructure will be world class. But the second aspect is the support of the judiciary being most important to turn it into an infrastructure hub, because I can reasonably say that the support of the judiciary will ensure that it becomes world class. We will go to Varun from Telugu Desam Party, who actually also lives in Vizag. Varun, I want to ask you two things. A, in your opinion, why it should be Vizag for the arbitration center? B, the Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu said that my father, though uneducated, mediated issues of 10 villages. And it proves that common sense, when people get together, you can solve disputes out of court. Now, arbitration is also an out of court settlement of dispute through an arbitrator. So he gave the example of his father to say that. And he said that why not, we also reduce the case burden of the courts, because if cases are settled outside courts, the judges will have less pressure on them. So could you answer these two questions?
Sure, Tarunji. But before I go into that, I'd say many thanks to you for putting me on to this panel where I share it with two eminent people from the judicial sector, Sanjay Jain sir and Justice Bhosle sir. I had the privilege of watching one of them on live when they were in Andhra Pradesh. So it's glad to be a part of this very esteemed panel today. And it's also glad I want to tell about my city and my state today. Like both the honorable panel members mentioned about the world-class infrastructure that Chandrababu Naidu sir is sure to give, because we have an experience, this man and this government in Andhra Pradesh has the experience of building cities like Cyberabad in the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh and Amaravati now that is going to take off as the first greenfield city in the country. And we are known to build like pharma cities and medtech zones, high-tech cities, etc. So that's not new to us. But having said that, why Vishakhapatnam is definitely an obvious question, because Vishakhapatnam is not traditionally related to arbitrations like Delhi and Mumbai. But let me tell you what Vishakhapatnam can offer you on the table is that today it's a major port city that's connecting international trade routes. Its international trade is cumulatively growing at a very high speed in the Indian shipping sector. And also it is emerging as an IT and finance fintech hub, wherein major fintech companies and IT companies are being lined up millions of dollars investments. It's raining investments in Vishakhapatnam, I should say. So this brings revenue and scope for cross-border commercial disputes. That can be a major forte in arbitration. And also if you look at the political and institutional commitment that Andhra Pradesh has offered in terms of whose evidence itself is the commitment to establish an international arbitration center in Vishakhapatnam. That's a commitment. Out of all the 29 states in India, it was our chief minister who came up being one of a very small states in terms of size, at least I should say, we came back and we are offering this international arbitration centers because we understand that there is a need for arbitration for commercial disputes that will only increase day by day with trade routes being established, with more of business coming into Vishakhapatnam, or India being pivoted to a larger growth rate in the world map, and India trying to become that few $1 trillion economy in a stipulated time. The vision of Prime Minister is also to put us back in the global stage with exceptional numbers that will only speak about our growth. And if you look at all these, and it is also said that I'm sure Ghosle sir should and Sanjay Jain will also know this fact that Andhra Pradesh High Court has trained 1,400 mediators already, and they're planning to empower another 800 arbitrators in the near future. So we'll have about close to 2,000 plus arbitrators and mediators in hand already with us, and so this should probably ease the situation more for world-class arbitrators to come and execute their things here. And with respect to what we are looking at, a cohesive national strategy. So Andhra Pradesh is ready to be on the forefront of being this to play the role of a lead in building this cohesive national strategy in bringing this arbitration center. Because if you look at the maritime sector at Vishakhapatnam, the maritime sector is already dominated by London and Singapore. I think Vishakhapatnam is a proper fit to become a hub for this maritime dispute resolution. And what we are all seeking, like if I could borrow the statements from both the eminent panelists sitting here, what I understand is about apart from the world-class infrastructure, or about from the land, or the whatever infrastructural physical capabilities that we can give as a government, what actually balances this pillar with other three pillars is that institutional independence and the judicial support and international recognition of enforceability and neutrality of the awards for cross-border parties to come and arbitrate in this ground is what I really think should be the other three pillars that will balance and give support to our infrastructure and our will to promote this international arbitration center. Yeah.
Thank you, Varun, for your intervention at this point. I'm going to go to Justice Dilip Bhosle for two specific points that Chandrababu Naidu, the Chief Minister, said. Point number one is, can a Chief Minister-led initiative really make a difference, because it is not coming as a bureaucratic initiative. It is the Chief Minister, led. Secondly, I ask this also because many panelists may not know that in addition from coming from a jurist family, your father also was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So, you know it from both sides. Your father being a Chief Minister of a state, you've seen how Chief Ministers can drive policy. And Maharashtra is one of the largest states in the country. And of course, he was an eminent jurist. So you have seen life from both angles, from an administrative angle and the judicial angle. Do you think the Chief Minister putting his weight behind the project greatly changes the future and the fortunes of that project?
Yeah, I think so, because it is only Chief Minister, in fact, in the state who can take a lead. See, to establish such centers, it requires a lot of support, not only support, administrative support, but also financial supports, and that can be provided only by the state government. And Chief Minister, if he wants, and if it is his dream project, then it becomes more easy. I have seen when my father was Chief Minister, since you mentioned it, I am mentioning it. When he was the Chief Minister, a new bench at Aurangabad was to be established. Of course, that decision was already taken when my father was a law minister. But then when he became Chief Minister, the decision was, the project was to be pushed further. My father made all efforts and made available huge funds for establishing High Court there. And that High Court today is one of the most successful bench of the Bombay High Court. So yes, sorry.
No, you're saying that the Chief Minister's spoof greatly changes things.
You know, in Marathi or in, I don't know if it's Marathi or Sanskrit, but we say Rajashray.
Right.
This is Rajashray. Rajashray in state, Chief Minister is a Raja.
Right.
When he decides and when he means to establish something, it is very easy for him to do so. And I have seen Chandrababu Naidu when I was Chief Justice there, acting Chief Justice, and I had several occasions to meet him. I have seen the way he works. And as you said in the beginning, I have no slightest doubt that he will make this center as one of the best centers, state-of-the-art center, which will attract not only Indian arbitration community, but even international arbitration community.
One quick follow-up question before I go to Senior Advocate Sanjay Jain was Mr. Chandrababu Naidu said that I want to make reduce pendency, enhance investor confidence in my state, and promote economic stability. Uh, uh,
That is possible if you ask me. That is possible only if there is a support of judiciary.
right.
Uh, I think not only in the state of Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, but all states in the country, unless judiciary decide to support such a move or such vision, it is impossible to make it successful.
Point very taken. I'll take the same question to Senior Advocate Sanjay Jain, because you were Additional Solicitor General for so many long years. Your experience is unparalleled in terms of how the government thinks. Could you share with us that to reduce pendency, enhance investor confidence in India and Andhra Pradesh, and promote economic stability? If judiciary is with the state government, how can it help to make the center a leading center? And what is the role of infrastructure in your view? Because you said infrastructure is needed, of course, that will, but how can both help to make this center a leading center?
See, it's like the two important pillars of the Indian body polity have to collaborate on this. The judiciary can gain confidence that yes, the reform, suppose the Chief Justice at High Court level and the senior judges of the High Court, they formulate a committee, they take certain decisions, they want to set up a particular protocol or regime. How will they succeed if the government of the day is not giving a support in terms of making available the finances and the facilities and other aspects? So there has to be a collective will on the part of the government, and where there is a will, there is a way. If the chief minister, being the first among equals in the Council of Ministers, within the scheme of Indian Constitution, if he decides on the subjects which are the state subjects, in which he's equivalent to Raja, so therefore there is no stopping. There is no stopping. The chief minister, she or he can create that conducive atmosphere to develop that ecosystem. Now, in this case, we are talking of the chief minister, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. He has a proven track record. I recall 25 years back when I had my first visit to Hyderabad. I was told by the local people there that he has taken up ABC projects, and fortunately he has a complete support of the judiciary. So if I go back by those sentences that I heard, what is the lesson? The lesson is that if the chief minister decides to do something in public interest, in the larger public interest, the judiciary also comes forward and lends its support. So therefore, if the initiative is taken by him, there is a certain degree of, like, he has a benefit of starting from some people say that well begun is half done. So if he starts, then there is a presumption that he's already walked 1/3 of the journey. So with that kind of presumption, if he starts something, it will be easier for him to convince the judiciary, because judiciary also has to be convinced with regard to the efficacy and sustainability of any project. So if the judiciary feels that all right, it is as some overnight kind of a proposition, it will start today and it will fizzle out tomorrow. So there may not be much enthusiasm, but with the person who is behind it, and also it is the question is which place you are promoting. So as our friend Varun mentioned about
Right.
Vishakhapatnam. Vishakhapatnam is a natural harbor, and it is designed by nature or God to have an organic growth. So it has contributed to organic growth in so many sectors. Now it's coming to the man-made growth that we are contemplating. So this man-made growth can also be blended with the organic aspects and the maritime disputes he mentioned, which is given the geopolitics of or the geographical positioning of Vishakhapatnam, that is quite natural to it. So on all these aspects, what needs to be done is that the virtues and the benefits of Patnam as a possible arbitration hub have to be identified and spread and publicized. So therefore, and also you need to have infrastructure in terms of good number of hotels. I mean, when the professionals will come from all over different parts of the country, where are they going to stay?
Yes.
Where are the legal teams and the clients are going to find a place to prepare their matters. So
Yes.
all those things they come along. So when I
You-
speak about infrastructure, it is not only about the building where the arbitration center will be created. It is also about the civil aviation, number of flights available. So of course, all these aspects need to be gone into, and also you will have to provide a healthy amount of budget for
Yes.
to the Chief Justice to create n number of courts, to recruit staffs, and because as we said, that unless you have a supporting legal system, so how does the legal system support you without funds?
Yes.
If you don't give houses to the judges, if you don't give facilities to the honorable judges who have to, because the ecosystem of arbitration is not unidimensional. It may start with the arbitration proceedings, it may end with an award, but there are so many other aspects which need to be looked into.
Point very well taken. Good that you reflected on the supporting infrastructure that is needed to make an arbitration hub. I hope that as you go sometimes to appear at the High Court at Hyderabad, you may also soon have the opportunity to go to Vizag as this arbitration center is being set up. I'll go to Varun for one last comment. Varun, one thing I want to know from you, Gujarat is known for the diamond trade, textiles also historically. Tamil Nadu is known for automobiles. In that sense, if you could speak about Vizag, what sector is there in prominent, because it is natural that whatever sector is there in prominence there, they will first go for arbitration in the same city. It's nearer, closer, trustworthy, and you can close disputes fast. Which sectors dominate that city and the surrounding areas?
So for now, it has to be, Tarunji, it has to be maritime, no doubt about it. Yeah, so it has to be maritime now. It will be followed by, look at the ESG disputes that we have today. So the energy sector disputes, the sustainability sector disputes. So this arbitration center actually demands sectoral specialization. If you talk about sectoral specialization, maritime followed by ESG disputes, I'm sure Vizag is going to be a great epitome of all this. And because Southeast Asian trade catalysis can be done by Vishakhapatnam now or even in the future. Okay. So when this doors of Southeast Asian trade opens up in, as we grow more and more and more and more, as the cumulative growth keeps on increasing. So Vizag at one end is becoming a growth fintech and IT hub, like just how we did to Hyderabad. And also if you look at Andhra Pradesh as a state itself, we have the second largest coastline in Andhra Pradesh. So Vishakhapatnam is just not the only coastal belt that you can talk about the entire coastline of Andhra Pradesh. So maritime disputes and trade disputes are obviously out to come. And second thing is, if you look at the growth pattern of Andhra Pradesh today, we have bifurcated ourselves and we have decentralized ourselves in becoming clusters of growth. If you look at automobiles, we have one sector, we have one district. We probably, for example, Kia is set up in Anantapur. For example, if you want to see this bioglass plants, we have Prakasham. So we have Krishna and Guntur districts already harboring the Amaravati as a capital. So we have education institutions talking up to Amaravati and Vishakhapatnam as well. So if you see, there are a lot of clustered growths that are already there in the city, which can all be enrouted towards Vishakhapatnam, because a lot of financial players come to every district of Andhra Pradesh. That's having said that, the ESG disputes are high time priority for any people, because the next big thing that's happening in this world that's dominated by tech and AI today, the other end of the world highly demands the climate control, the energy crisis, etc. So the ESG disputes are bound to happen. No country probably is away from this arbitration of being inducted itself into the ocean of disputes with respect to ESG. And also, having said that, Andhra today is not only craving for investments, we are also craving for institutions. Okay, because these institutions that empower our line of thought with respect to investments is of huge demand. So we are hungry for that. So we are basically a pro-institutional excellence achieving state. We have been dreaming for institutional excellence, no matter if it's related to judiciary, if it's related to any other growth industry, whatever it is, right? From IT to today's arbitration center, what all we aim is about institutional excellence. If you look at ISBR, when we bought ISB to Hyderabad, it was a pattern of establishing institutional excellence, academic excellence into the state of Andhra Pradesh. There's while Andhra Pradesh, now in Telangana. So Vishakhapatnam today is poised at a very fantastic growth as Vishakha keeps growing and growing. And someday when we need an arbitration center, rather than that, we would have it right now and to facilitate all the arbitration disputes. Yeah.
Point when we'll take one last word from Justice Dilip Bhosle.
Yes.
See, a large economy like India, which is going to be $10 trillion in the near future. It may take 2 years, it may take 5 years, but we are getting there definitely. Time may be nearer or far, but we are getting there. Do you think India could do with 3-4 hubs of arbitration, namely Delhi, Bombay, Vizag, because it's a large country with a large dispute capacity?
Actually, we need it. Now, see, if you look at Delhi, we have already a very, very nice and wonderful arbitration center. Now, arbitration center is coming up in Vishakhapatnam. But a city like Bombay, where actually I can say that the real arbitration work is in Mumbai, and there is no international arbitration center in Mumbai at all. You know, arbitrators required to run from pillar to post to find a good venue sometimes. Then sometimes we need to go to 5-star hotels where parties cannot afford sometimes. Then we have one good arbitration center that is Indian Merchant Chamber, but that is hardly, it has any infrastructure except good conference rooms and video conferencing. That's all. There is no other infrastructure available there. Bombay, place like Bombay needs good infrastructure, and not only Bombay, Delhi and Hyderabad even, but Bangalore also, because I was also in Karnataka for some time. There also the arbitrations are in good number, and very good arbitrators are also there, including some former chief justices and judges of the Supreme Court. So I feel that we should have more than 4 or 5 arbitration centers in our country, and particularly places like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, maybe Vishakhapatnam or Hyderabad, and even Calcutta. I feel so. We should have.
Point very well taken. I think anybody wants to come in, otherwise we almost
only one thing, Mr. Tarun, I would like to only mention one more thing, if you permit me.
Yes.
See, apart from the support of the judiciary and the government for establishing such international arbitration center, I sincerely feel that the arbitrator community also, because see, unfortunately in India, arbitrators are not organized sector.
Yes.
And and that being so, the support of the arbitrators for such international arbitration centers is unfortunately not as expected. So I think somebody will have to take a lead to see that this entire arbitrators community come together and it is organized.
Thank you. I think that's a important comment. I would like to end this show with an anecdote that Justice Ahmadi told me. Justice A.M. Ahmadi met Chandrababu Naidu in the early 90s when he was Chief Minister. And he said that Hyderabad needs a leading law school. Then Justice Ahmadi and Chandrababu Naidu were going in one car. Chandrababu Naidu pointed at a random building on the road and said, okay, that is your first office. So in a random building that they were passing by the road, he said, no, I want to do it now because if it is pending, it will remain pending. So in a building that they saw on the road, the first office of the Nalsar came up.
Yes,
so Nalsar started out of a random office which Chandrababu Naidu saw while driving. The office was opened. He says, now it is open, everything else can start. I have identified while driving in the car. So I think that's decisive leadership that you know, and Justice Ahmadi told me I was amused that while driving in the car, he says, okay, that building is done. Let's start. We will give you a campus, land, everything later, but this should start. So from that, I learned from Justice Ahmadi when he came on my show many years ago. So this is an experience.
Tarun, permit me. See, yes. I was a member of the Bar Council of India and also Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of India. You know, this building which you are talking about,
yes,
me and Justice Arun Mishra, he was the Chairman of the Bar Council of India and I was Vice Chairman.
Yes.
Both had gone to inspect it and we submitted the report and approved it.
Oh,
Yes.
I
thanks for
remember
adding
that.
this.
We also visited Chief Justice at his residence. He invited other judges. We met them all, and
Okay.
we granted approval. Bar Council of India then.
Oh, so I mean, this is really some historical anecdotes that I'm getting via today. We're doing 2 and 2 together. Very glad to know that. I
Varun,
would like
I
to
had
thank.
the privilege of being a Bar Council of Delhi's member, and I appeared before Mr. Justice Arun Mishra and His Lordship Bhosle in some Bar Council related dispute at that point in time.
Oh, okay. Glad to know this.
Okay.
Thank
But
you.
on your subject, my closing comment would be that if you want any place to be a preferred destination,
Yes.
especially for Mr. Varun to hear it, if you want any place to be a preferred destination, it is important that you make some USPs associated with it.
Yes. Some
Yes.
years.
Yes.
That
Yes.
we'll in fact do a follow-up show on this as and when the center announcement happens as far as the plot or the building is concerned. I would like to thank Justice Dilip Bhosle, Senior Advocate Sanjay Jain, Varun Kumar from Telugu Desam Party. Thank you for your time. This is truly where administration and judiciary converge to give better services to people and investors. This is what is important. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. Appreciate your joining us. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.